The Vigilant Heart, Finding Strength in Softness. I had the incredible opportunity to interview Desiree Pettis recently, and what struck me most wasn't just her wisdom, it was the quiet power behind it. Desiree is a force of nature wrapped in gentle compassion, a woman who has transformed countless lives through her commitment to authentic leadership and boundary setting. Her impact ripples through communities like waves of light, creating spaces where people can thrive without compromising their values. She embodies what it truly means to be both fierce and tender, a living testament to the power of vigilant kindness in a world that often pushes us to choose between the two. Have you ever noticed how we're taught to choose? Be strong or be kind, be cautious or be trusting, be successful or be authentic, as if these qualities exist on opposite ends of some cosmic spectrum that we can't possibly bridge. But what if that's the greatest lie we've been sold? What if our power lies precisely in that delicate balance between vigilance and vulnerability, between caution and compassion? I've spent months diving deep into conversations with remarkable women entrepreneurs who've mastered this balance. And today I want to share what I've learned from Desiree Pettis and others about navigating a world that often asks us to choose between protecting ourselves and opening our hearts. Here's the truth: you don't have to choose. You can be both vigilant and kind. You can be both cautious and compassionate. You can protect your energy while still showing up fully in the world. Let me tell you about Desiree Hayes, a woman whose journey exemplifies this balance perfectly. After 11 years, yes, 11 years, of facing infertility and profound loss, Desiree finally embraced motherhood through adoption. But that was just the beginning of her transformation. She left behind the demanding corporate career in logistics to found her own brand photography business. This wasn't just any business. This was a venture built on the radical notion that authenticity isn't just nice to have, it's essential. Keep your eyes open, Desiree often tells her clients. Awareness is your first line of defense. But here's what makes her approach so powerful: that vigilance never turns into cynicism. Instead, she channels it into creating safe spaces where women entrepreneurs can show up as their true selves. Her clients don't just get photographs, they get permission to be seen fully, authentically, powerfully. The results speak volumes. Women who once hid behind polished facades now lead with vulnerability. Brands that once blended into the background now stand out because they stand for something real. This is what happens when we refuse to choose between vigilance and vulnerability. When we understand that our awareness can actually deepen our authenticity rather than diminish it. But let's be honest, this balance isn't easy to maintain, especially when we're facing challenges that threaten to knock us off center. Consider Desiree Terrigan, known to many as Mami Toko. Her journey began simply enough, sharing home cooked meals on social media. No formal culinary training, no industry connections, just authentic food made with love. As her following grew, so did the commercial pressures, the temptation to cut corners, to chase trends rather than truth, to prioritize profit over purpose. We've all felt these pressures in our own ways, haven't we? But Desiree remained vigilant. She stayed grounded by attributing her inspiration to God's grace, focusing on heartfelt service rather than shortcuts. Even as she expanded into food retail partnerships, she maintained the integrity of her offerings. The outcome? Mamitoko became known not just for authentic flavors, but for genuine engagement. Not just products, but relationships built on trust. Be careful, be cautious. Desiree Pettis emphasized in our interview, but always lead with kindness. This is the paradox at the heart of true strength, the ability to protect our boundaries while still extending our compassion, to guard our energy without closing our hearts. Now, I want to be clear about something. This vigilant kindness isn't about being perfect. It's not about having it all figured out. It's about being willing to learn, to grow, to adjust our approach as we go. Take Desiree I do, an entrepreneur who faced significant financial hurdles early in her business journey. Limited resources forced difficult decisions about where and whom to trust as she scaled operations under mounting pressure. The turning point came when she learned the power of delegation, but not just any delegation, careful, intentional delegation. By vetting collaborators thoroughly and setting clear boundaries up front, she avoided costly mistakes while creating space for her creative vision to flourish. The result? A thriving enterprise built on discernment and trust. A business that stands as testament not only to talent, but to wisdom under pressure. These stories share a common thread, the understanding that vigilance without kindness becomes paranoia, while kindness without vigilance becomes naivety. It's in the balance that we find our power. So, how do we cultivate this balance in our own lives? How do we stay both alert and open hearted in a world that often feels designed to make us choose? First, we must trust our instincts, that quiet voice inside that whispers warnings when something doesn't feel right. Listen to it, that flutter in your stomach when someone's words don't match their actions. Pay attention to it. Your intuition is not irrational, it's processing information faster than your conscious mind can articulate. But, and this is crucial, trusting your instincts doesn't mean assuming the worst in others. It means being honest about what you're experiencing without jumping to conclusions. Second, we must approach others with empathy while maintaining healthy boundaries. Kindness is not the absence of limits, it's the presence of respect, both for others and for ourselves. As Desiree Pettis so eloquently put it, don't let setbacks diminish your light. Even when faced with adversity or loss, hold on to your values, remain true to yourself, keep moving forward. Don't allow others' actions to trick you out of your purpose. This is perhaps the most powerful form of vigilance, the commitment to protecting not just our physical or financial well being, but our spiritual and emotional integrity as well. I'm reminded of a practice that has transformed my own approach to decision making. Before making any significant choice in business or in life, I pause and ask myself three questions. Am I seeing this clearly? Am I protecting my peace? Am I responding with both care and courage? These questions create space between stimulus and response. They remind me that I don't have to react immediately. I can take a breath, assess the situation, and choose a response that honors both my boundaries and my values. I invite you to try this practice this week. Notice what shifts when you give yourself permission to be both vigilant and kind, both cautious and compassionate. Because here's what I know for sure, the world doesn't need more people who have chosen sides in this false dichotomy. It doesn't need more people who are either paranoid or naive, either closed off or completely unprotected. What the world needs, what your community needs, what your business needs, what your family needs is you showing up with both your wisdom and your warmth intact. You refusing to choose between protecting yourself and opening your heart. You embodying the power of vigilant kindness. This is especially true for those of us who have spent years in survival mode. We've led teams, raised families, held down households, carried communities, and now we're exhausted. We're ready to shift from constantly grinding to finally grounding in joy, peace, softness, and self prioritization. But make no mistake, embracing softness doesn't mean abandoning our vigilance. It means channeling that vigilance into protecting our peace rather than just our productivity. It means being discerning about where we invest our energy, not just our money. As we learn to drop the superwoman cape, as we practice saying no without guilt, as we reclaim our authentic identities, we need this balance more than ever because softness without boundaries isn't sustainable. And boundaries without compassion for ourselves and others isn't softness at all. So I leave you with this challenge. Tomorrow, when you wake up, make a conscious decision to protect your peace without closing your heart. When someone tests your boundaries, respond with both firmness and grace. When an opportunity presents itself, evaluate it with both caution and curiosity. And most importantly, when you look in the mirror, see yourself not as divided between strength and softness, but as magnificently whole, capable of both vigilance and vulnerability, both discernment and compassion. Because the moment we decide to protect our peace while keeping our hearts open is the moment we truly begin to live. It's the moment we stop letting the world dictate who we must be and start embodying who we already are, beings of immense wisdom and profound love. The world is waiting for this integration, this powerful fusion of vigilance and kindness. Not someday, not when you feel ready, but now, today, in your next conversation, your next decision, your next breath. Keep your eyes open. Lead with caution, but always with kindness. And never ever let setbacks diminish your light because that light, your light, illuminated by both your vigilance and your vulnerability, is precisely what this world needs most.